So let's start at where this whole issue really ought to be focused. This is not about, as some people have made out, oh, so the Prime Minister rents his house to someone. The person is a tenant, he's a landlord. Is it legal? Some people have raised that point, which means that they are missing the point. This is a very clear-cut case where the law speaks to conflict of interest. But when you talk about conflict of interest, some people say, oh, conflict of interest. What does that really mean? What that means in very simple terms is this. You have an investor who comes to Antigua. He negotiates the deal of a lifetime, pays no taxes, gets his own customs. I mean, you look at the statutory instrument, Western Imperial Special Economic Zone, the license order, and you go through that, and you see that this man gets a deal of a lifetime, and he, at the end of it, allows, or he goes to the Prime Minister, put it that way, and ends up with renting the Prime Minister's house for $54,000 a month. So let's go through that again. An investor comes to Antigua. He is linking with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the minister with responsibility for finance. The Prime Minister negotiates so that we have an investor paying no taxes, getting everything, no benefit for the people and country of Antigua and Barbuda. And then at the end of it, you hear that he's renting a property for $54,000. And when you say, who's he renting it from? The same Prime Minister. So whose interest was the Prime Minister really promoting? And why would this man only want to rent a house from the Prime Minister? No other house in Antigua to rent? Nobody else have house to rent? The issue here is the continuing tendency of this Prime Minister to grab all for himself. Now, we heard Lennox Weston recently, and he was saying that the purpose of a free trade zone is not only providing work in the zone. He's saying that the people who come, they will create other opportunities. He says they will rent and buy cars, they will rent houses, they will spend money in supermarkets, etc. But what you see happening is that there's no trickle down. So the spin-offs that are supposed to come, as he's saying, from things like this, where they will rent homes, and you think, well, the renting of homes is a benefit to the economy, to the people. But then the renting of homes turns out to be the renting of the Prime Minister's home. So then who benefits? So you have a sweetheart deal being negotiated with this man. Why would he select only that house to rent when you have a whole real estate market in Antigua? What was the special position of the Prime Minister that would have lined him up so that the man needs a house and he puts up his hand? You can take mine. Is that how it happened? Is this some other way? Because I'm still ascertaining what are the market rates for rent in these areas. The people I've spoken to find it very strange that he appears to be paying above market rate. But to me, the real issue is not that. The real issue is the only person to benefit from this sweetheart deal, apart from the tenant, the so-called tenant, the only other person is the Prime Minister. Now, is that the type of country that we really want to develop here in Antigua and Barbuda? Is this the sort of conduct that is befitting a Prime Minister? I challenge anybody else. Find me another Prime Minister anywhere in the Caribbean who would engage in this type of brazen conduct. V.C. Bird never did anything like that. Lester Bird, I'm not aware, did anything like that. Certainly Baldwin Spencer never did anything like that. This is the first Prime Minister who is so brazen in the way he creams off the benefits of anything that's moving in this country. And that is one of the things that is turning off a lot of people in this country. Because people are saying, look, everybody's entitled to live. But the way that he is doing things he is the only one who seems to be benefiting his family. Because even with respect to the lease that he entered into, that's not enough for the family. The son enters into a lease with the same people, the same Mr. Singh, for a property down at Dredge Bay. So they're the only ones who are supposed to eat in this country. Just like when you look at what happened in Jennings, at that complex, he said the complex belonged to his son. So when the Cubans needed somewhere to stay, he didn't say, how can we empower other Antiguans and Barbudans who have rental properties that could accommodate the Cubans? They end up staying right there in Jennings, in a complex owned by the royal family.